Hello, everybody. My name is Jeremy Crosby. I'm with Fact TV, joined with the Fitchburg Police Department Lieutenant Hartwig. And today we're going to talk about the recent mass shooting that took place in Texas, but overall have overall discussion about some of the incidents that have taken place, but more importantly, the response that our community would take or could take in a different type of situation, some safety tips, and just overall discussion. Earlier, the police department did share some information to the community, and I'm sure Lieutenant Hartwig was part of this, sharing out communicate kind of some general information about the police department's, I want to say stance, but Ned, your communication wise during any type of situation, when it's something like this happens, a tragedy happens nationally, it's good to talk about it and learn from it, discussions, talking points, helping us kind of go through this. So today, Ned, we're just going to kind of talk in general on a couple different areas related, but set us up here on the police department, the statement that you had shared, and kind of where you guys are at when you hear something about this type of tragedy.
So, like the rest of the country, when shocking news, and unfortunately it's become less shocking because it's become so regular over the last several years and really even longer than that. But a shooting at an elementary school is certainly it's unfathomable, and it really impacts everybody in a number of different ways. But as a police department, as parents, as spouses of people that work in schools, and really as someone that may respond to an incident like that, it really impacts us. And realizing also that it impacts our community and those that we serve, we wanted to share a little bit of insight in that. We certainly are thinking about this incident and the impact that it's had, not only in Texas, but across the country and locally, and also give some measure of reassurance to the community that we are thinking about this, and aware that this incident could happen anywhere. And sometimes in these incidents, there are copycat incidents or there are increased threats following these tragedies. And so we just wanted to put out a message to indicate that we're aware, we're thinking about it, it is in our plans, and that we may be more visible around the schools. And also recognizing at the same time, though, that sometimes that increased presence around a school may be more anxiety inducing than reassuring. People react differently to seeing a police car, whether it's at a school parking lot or just on the road. And so we need to be aware of how people are reacting to our presence, but we want people to know that that presence is intended to provide at the most basic level some level of reassurance that we're out there and thinking about those that have to go to school every day, those parents that are dropping their children off at school every day. And clearly that's even more taxing than normal right now, right? Everyone's processing this incident in a different way from different points of view, but we're there with those people that are going to those schools every day. Some of our officers are dropping their children off at those schools that we're out there monitoring. And as I mentioned too, we also have loved ones that are working in those schools. So we wanted to put that message out there that that's at the front of our minds right now.
Yeah, the Fitchburg Police Department has been, and I think part of the stuff we do with you with talking Fitchburg and just in general and sharing information, what's happening at the police department is so important to communicate the things that you've been working on. We have talked about different trainings and stuff that you do, but there's a lot of partnerships that you have with Fitchburg businesses, homeowners, apartment complexes, schools. This is bigger than just a mass incident, no matter if it's a bit wherever it is. You have the partnerships in the community, and talk about what those partnerships are, and no matter church, school, business, you name it, what are you doing out there to communicate to help put understanding to this and train the community, or provide training too to help the community in a situation like this? A lot of questions there, but partnership is so important.
Yeah, so The after we kind of think about the reactions that everyone has to this incident and process their own feelings, I think it's really natural to start thinking about what does this incident look like here? How is our police department going to respond? How do our first responder agencies, if something happens at my child's school, if something happens at my workplace? And I think we all obviously are thinking about school shootings right now, and that's a very common topic in the news, and those are often the most energizing events as it relates to the momentum around the country in responding to these. But looking at some statistics, workplace violence is incredibly prevalent, and also over the last year, a number of incidents occurred, active shooter incidents occurred in places of commerce that are open to the public, where there are a number of different types of targets, or in open air areas like parks. And so, as you're mentioning here and talking about partnerships, it's important for us to work with all of our members of our community, whether they're schools, businesses, places of worship. And over the last several years, we've been fortunate enough to be able to send a number of our personnel to trainings that are put on by various organizations, including the FBI, to respond to these incidents and to train members of the community in these incidents. And they have different acronyms, they have different models, but they are really out there to and set up to get people to think about that plan ahead of time. We have all participated in a fire drill. No matter how long ago you went to school, we all participated in a fire drill. We've all been a part of a fire alarm going off at a business, and severe weather, tornado season. Most people are familiar with those types of plans. And unfortunately, over the years, responding to active shooter events has also been mixed into that as well. And so these courses and topics that we train on and then train the community on are really about encouraging people to have that plan in place and to have something that's simple and easy to follow. And so a lot of them are very simple, and they talk about notifying the people that are in that business of an incident, and what either sheltering in place and hardening that place that you're sheltering, or evacuating, and in some instances being able to fight back. It's disheartening to think that sometimes the best response is arming people with common office objects to fight back in an incident like that, but at least putting that thought out there. And so what we have been trying to do is work with and make ourselves available to businesses to not necessarily consult on putting those practices into place or telling them what to do, but several of our personnel have put on trainings throughout the city, banks, churches, and schools, to really talk about what a model might look like and how to put that model into place. So beyond those types of trainings, we've also spent a lot of time walking through some of our larger businesses, learning the layouts, having meetings in advance with those that are responsible for security or facilities at those businesses, to really learn more about what we might be getting into in the unfortunate event that an active shooter incident or other similar situation might take place. And so again, the principle here is really, as uncomfortable as it may be, and as easy as it is to say it's not going to happen here, it's very important that our communities start thinking about these things, if they haven't already, and engaging in the number of resources that are out there on the internet, the number of trainings that are available, videos to watch, and to get these thoughts going in your workplace or wherever people may gather, or to reach out to us and say, hey, how can you help us? What can we do better? And I think that's another principle of looking at this incident in Texas and incidents that have happened recently, the one in Buffalo as well, where we're not critiquing things necessarily, but what can be improved, what has changed. Nothing stays the same, and so responses and ways of thinking about these situations should change too.
Yeah, if anything, I can tell you that from somebody looking in from the outside, and well, I mean, I'm in the inside, but we shared different information about all of our departments. So I'm not directly involved in the police department. I am part of the city, but we have gone in on some of these trainings and been part of sharing the information and the training and the stuff. And I can say it's been an eye opener for me. And I like to think I know a lot of things, but there are so many things that I've learned just from attending your guys' trainings and sharing out the information. And I think that's important, is to keep this communication line open and keep sharing information. There's a whole nother side to talk about mental health and resources and that sort of thing. And I want to put that to the side for another conversation, Ned, as part of this discussion. But to kind of wrap it up on the side of the stuff we've talked about today, if people wanted to find some of the resources, whether it be training from the Fitchburg Police Department, how do I talk to my kids, where do I find the mental health? So we will have another mental health discussion, I promise. But where would you suggest we start?
So there are a number of avenues to go. We have a form you can submit on our website if you're interested in Fitchburg and have a business or organization that you're interested in getting some training, some on-site training. And if nothing else, having a conversation with our experts. We have a couple of sergeants who are really our experts and have been involved in putting on our trainings internally. And there are a whole host of other resources that we'll be adding to our website. The Department of Homeland Security has a lot of information that's out there. And I think we'll be able to share some information here with you online as well, that we can link to everything. But there are a whole host of resources that are out there related to setting up these plans, putting on trainings, how to talk to your kids about preparing them for things they may be exposed to in school, whether it's an active shooter drill or just the concept in general of prioritizing your safety, the steps to take, looking for opportunities to escape a situation like this, and just getting age appropriate conversations with your kids are really important. And if you are interested, again, go to our website. There is active threat response link on there, and we'll get some more information up in the next couple of days for people to check out.
Lieutenant Hartwood, thank you so much for the information. We'll talk about mental health as well as part of this in another piece, which is another part of the discussion points here. But we look forward to talking more on topics and continuing to keep the communications up with the police department, getting the information out there for residents.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you.